Hey, you guys! We are so excited to start this recap of day one of Eurovision 2024 rehearsals. Oh my goodness. Before we do that, though, let's just quickly go around and remind you who is on the line because it's been a while since we were all together. First up, it is Lucy Percy in Leicester. Hello.
Hello. Exciting times. Next week is Malmö.
Yay!
Yay!
Over in Portugal, who is it?
It's Bernardo Tavares Pereira, as you usually say. Hi, guys. Nice to be back.
And in Valencia, our king from Benidorm Fest, who is it?
It's Luis Fuster here from Valencia. Hi!
Yay! Now, before we dive into it, you guys in the chat, are you able to hear us? Is the sound okay? If there are issues, please let us know now. Please let us know now. And so far, no one said anything shady, so we're probably good to begin. Do writes, live Skype calls, it's giving 2016.
It is.
And 2017.
And 2017,
Yeah, let's keep it real. And 2018 and 2019.
And 2018, yeah.
It is. It's a throwback, yeah.
Well, 7 acts rehearsed today for the first time, and we're just going to name them quickly in case you were not paying attention. First up, we had Cyprus, Silia Kapsis, then Serbia's Teya, Dora, then Lithuania's Silvester Belt, then Ireland's Bambie Thug, then Ukraine's Teresa and Maria singers alyona, and Jerry Heil, then Luna from Poland, and finally, Baby Lasagna. Now we're going to start with Lucy. Please kick off the first round by going around and tell us your winner of the day. Who was your favorite rehearsal snippet?
So my winner for the day, considering that they were one of my favorites going into today anyway, but Ireland. This is one of the most anticipated rehearsals for me, and it's given me everything I wanted and more. I think it's so impressive, like how they've taken their witchy brand and really put it out there to a way that looks so professional and gorgeous and expensive on camera. I can't remember the last time Ireland had staging that was this perfect for the act. And it really, you can tell Bambie was involved in, like, creatively. You can tell RTE have given Bambie the freedom to do what they need to do. I was blown away today by Ireland. The fashion, incredible. Everything incredible. I cannot wait to see the actual video of the clip for the second rehearsal. Can't wait.
Luis.
Yeah, so my winner is Ukraine, because I felt like there was never a doubt on the fact that Ukraine was going to be one of the best acts of the year, not only of the semifinal, but I think the staging they've created, this kind of all the yellows and the oranges of the lighting, plus the gray for when alyona sings, apparently, it works so well. It gives it like an aura of I'm thinking Greek mythology in a way. Like, I feel like at some point Jerry Heil looks like, I don't know, like a diva of a Greek temple or something like that. It's so beautiful, and I think it suits the mood of the song, which is not about going ballistic with staging, but just creating something delicate and beautiful that enhances the power of the song and of the lyrics that there is, of course, for sure. So yeah, Ukraine's my winner.
And Bernardo.
Well, for me, it was very difficult because I was between Lucy's choice and I was between and also Luis's choice, but I ended up going with Bambie as my winner, solely based on the pictures that were provided by the EBU. I think it's very striking. I think it helps Bambie that the national final was so scaled back that allowed her during the pre-party process and now arriving in Malmo to have the growth that most likely none of the other acts would have that. Taking in consideration also how they present themselves, the story that they convey, the values that they defend, and in that way, I think it was the act that had more room to breathe and to grow. And well, it was just fantastic. We've known from the start that she's very charismatic. She has tons of personality.
They do. They really do.
They do.
They have like loads of charisma, and they're very intelligent, and you can tell there's a story behind this, right? She's been testing the waters in the preseason. They've been taking care of this very carefully, very methodically, meticulously, and they will take this to good port. I think it's a safe qualifier now. I think it's a safe qualifier.
I want to read a comment. This is from Dr. Fergal Sherlock. Dr. Fergal Sherlock says, looking just at the photos, they're pixel perfect. The male dancer looks straight to the camera. Bambie looks straight to the camera in another. The visuals are so on point. Add the movement and vocal ... Dr. Fergal, I hope you got a PhD because you are on point, auntie. I absolutely agree with this. And I read this comment to say, this was also my winner based on the snippets, because we knew it would be shocking. Like if you hadn't seen it, if you were a casual viewer, this would be shocking and in your face. And we all had tasted it, but I was still taken somewhere different. The incantation, the candles that Bambie laid out, the way that they're casting a spell literally, and it's giving me Hocus Pocus. It's giving me Bewitched. It's giving me modern witchcraft, but with a heart of gold. They ain't here to send nobody to hell. No. They're here to save your soul. They're here to take you to love. They told us in multiple interviews that the act would be romantic. And so we need to look at the warlock, the man with the pierced nipples. Y'all zoom in, they're pierced. That person is not a victim. I feel like Bambie may be saving their life. Bambie may be bringing them back to life because, as they have said repeatedly, they're a good witch, not a bad witch. And if you combine the words bad and witch, you get... I'm not going to say it. All right, listen. So that's my winner of the day. Crown the Witch, says Plebon on the web. And... yes, we move on. It is time to discuss our biggest grower. This is the act that exceeded your expectations, Lucy.
Today for me it was Ukraine. I mean it was good already at Vidbeard, but I think considering circumstances, they weren't able to do as much as we knew that this song deserved. And I think that now they're in a situation where they have got a huge stage. They have got an opportunity to really artistically let this shine as it should. It was exceptional today. Absolutely exceptional. And, well, from what we can see. I just thought it was really magic. And, you know, we did a reaction video for it and spoiled it from it. I think that Jerry wearing like the armor shows strong women, which is obviously what this song is about. And I think it's about strength and, I mean, sorry to sound like Luna, but climbing that tower. Absolutely thriving. Are you all right, William? Because your camera's being funny.
Oh, sorry. Can you see me?
Yeah.
I can see you.
Now we can see you, yeah.
Sorry.
So, you know, it's a really powerful fashion choice, but this is a song contest after all, so even if you take that away, I think the song is just, I mean, it's perfect anyway. It's a really great song, and it is showcased the best way physically possible. It's really powerful.
So, well, I'm the only one who haven't mentioned them, but my biggest grower of the day is Ireland, actually, because I was fearing, well, you know, Ireland's recent track record of staging isn't the best, even though I loved Brooks in 2022. I loved that. But I was fearing in the end there would be a Leslie Roy scenario here. And it looks like there's not, and I'm very, very happy about it because I really, really have grown to love the song Doomsday Blue, and I feel like Bambie has a very clear vision of what they're doing, and I'm really, really, really into it. Like normally, I'm not into witchcraft, hexes, none of the. I'm not into horror movies at all. Like I'm very beige and I'm very gay at the same time. So, but this makes it accessible. I don't know. Like as someone who not consume this kind of music or this kind of imagery in general, I feel like very like they're offering a kind of a bridge to their world, and I'm happy to take it.
My biggest grower is Ukraine. And just by a small margin, it wasn't my winner. I mean, going into rehearsals, we all know that Ukraine always brings it. Mm-hmm. So there was no surprise when seeing the pictures that visually this was already there. This was already on point. There was no discussion there. I think there was room for improvement from the national final because, again, like Bambie, it was a very scaled back national final because of obvious reasons. But I don't know what's up with the Ukrainian delegation and the Ukrainian team. They're always able to bring whichever act they bring to Eurovision. They always have a narrative. They always have incredible staging. And I'm really excited to see how this comes to life with the camera shots and everything associated with the production. Because I think only having access to pictures and a video recorded with an iPhone kind of reduces the impact that this performance will have. Taking in consideration previous years, and of course alyona and Jerry Heil are a force to be reckoned, and it's there's no discussion here. I think the overall package from the rehearsals today, it may be the best when we talk about songs, vocal, stage presence, and overall potential as an act.
Yeah, Ukraine is good. Ukraine is tugging on emotional heartstrings. I think, as y'all said, it was quite dark in the national final, but they've really managed to bring the light through those costumes, through the golden flares, which are actually slightly ominous because there is a hint of war there. And yet the gold coloring still fits with this stage show in bringing the light. Ukraine just gets it. They just truly understand how to make magic. Now, Ukraine is not my biggest grower because I always thought they were going to slay, and I always thought it was going to be incredible. My biggest grower is actually Poland. Now, I didn't know how they were going to stage this. Like, I had no idea how they were going to stage this because when you hear a song called The Tower, you think of towers. And yeah, she gave us 2 towers. This has so many modes. There's so many moments. Like, they're the fashion moments with the pointy shoulders. Then you've got, Gumby, the cartoon character Gumby. Like, just think Albania 2009 in Moscow. She had the green dancer. Like, this is just very out there. It's not something you would expect to see. And I think there's dynamism in that. Because at first you see her wearing the cape, giving us Queen Amidala with the pointy Madonna. Do you remember Madonna had those...
The cone bar. Yeah.
Yes, the cone. Thank you so much. You're very articulate. Luna's given us that on the shoulders. Luna's giving us so many different looks. The red pleather, PVC. It has a slight BDSM kind of fantasy vibe, which may appeal to some voters. But anyway, she strips. It's like reverse evolution. You know how you're in a larvae, you're a caterpillar, blah, 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 butterfly? She's going through the process. And I love to see it. The vocal was not incredible off stage, but on stage, I thought it sounded good. And the reason this is my biggest grower is because they've delivered something interesting. They've delivered something enticing. A lot of people, I've seen a lot of comments, there are a lot of people who aren't feeling it, but I just love that she's gone her own way, done wacky and crazy. And yeah, well done to Poland, my biggest grower. Do you guys have thoughts on Poland while we're here?
Well, I mean, I can kick off the room for improvement section with it.
Okay, well, let's do that. Room for improvement, formerly known as biggest disappointment, but we've progressed past that.
Yeah. So going into talking about this, it's in my top 10. I really like this song a lot, and maybe that's why it's in my room for improvement, because I was hoping for probably too much from it. But basically, my commentary on this can be summarised in a sentence of, can Poland please calm down? Because the staging from Poland the last few years, like I think we said earlier on in our reaction video, the Coco Chanel quote about, you take one accessory off before you leave the house. Poland, you don't need massive pyro, giant towers, 3 dancers, costume reveal. You don't need every single element in staging. Like, can you just chill? And this is something that, like, we haven't even seen if they put effects on the cameras yet, which is something they've done the last 2 years. Like, I really hope they haven't, because I genuinely love this song and I really want it to be good, but I just hope they haven't Ochman and Blankered up the staging, because it's been really intense the last few years to the point of becoming memes. Like, people were adding silly screen effects to things like Brooke, That's Rich, and, say that Poland did it up, because they keep adding these crazy effects on the screen, or they do something like that. And it seems very much like they've done that again, albeit they've got loads of props this year, which is something they didn't do with Blanca or Ochman. So maybe I'd like to think that's where it ends, or not ends, but I'd like to think we're not going to get loads of extra crazy stuff on the camera effects as well. Please say, I mean, you could argue, look, Lucy, it's really camp to have all those things. Yeah, it is. It's very camp, and that's kind of what we're here for. But I don't know. It's just so much. It's so much.
Can we pause for 1 second? We're coming right back. You keep that. I want to shout out to Lindex Nikin. Poland won't qualify. How much kickback is Poland giving William and Debin? These comments crack me up. So you think Poland and their marketing budget are like, let's ask William Lee Adams and Debin Adderine from Wiwibloggs.com to say something nice about Luna? I mean, it's actually comical. And while that's clearly an attempt to insult me, it's also an insult against the Polish delegation. And you're actually making serious allegations that they're kind of bribing people to do stuff. I know, I find it very bizarre. And no, this is not a paid kind of comment. If it was, you'd see an ad, because there are British advertising standards on tea. In any case, we wish Luna all the best, even if Lindex Nikin does not. All right, we continue.
If they were paying Wiwibloggs to be too nice about Poland, why would I then just go off like I just did? Like,
correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly. But please, Lucy.
But yeah, no. I just think maybe remove one thing. Like, there was, my cat just nearly destroyed my kitchen. Sorry if you heard that. Noah Ray did a comment just saying, like, exactly in regards to Poland, she needs to get rid of the first outfit. And I think that is one thing that can be taken away. Get rid of the red cape. The rest of it, keep it, because it's. I love the cone bra shoulder moment. That is the kind of camp I'm here for. But just some of it needs to be taken away. Just something needs to be taken away.
Just adding on what Lucy said in regards to Poland, I'm really skeptical about everything that's on stage and the size of the props on stage. Because the last time I saw props that big, it was the United Kingdom in Rotterdam, and we all know how that turned out. So,
but no, I still have PTSD. Do you mind?
Do not go there. Actually,
it's very difficult for you as a producer, as a director of a television show, to make props as big as this look good on TV. And you either have to be like a stunning performance, and don't get me wrong, I think Luna is a very charismatic performance, but either you have like a big voice, a big stage presence, and you're there 100% always looking at the camera to grab people's attentions. Otherwise, people's focus will draw to the big prop and not what matters, which is the song and the performer.
Listen. Oh,
There's
please,
a
Louise.
comment that's really relevant, by the way. Doodoo has got, I don't know if this is true, but Doodoo has commented that UK 2021 and Poland this year are the same staging director.
I've seen
Well,
that a
that
lot
explains
actually
a lot of
on
things,
Twitter
it's
today,
true.
and apparently they do. Yeah.
What was UK 20? Oh, James Newman.
James
Newman,
yeah.
the one
James
that
Newman.
Bernardo was just referencing.
The two big trumpets have turned into two big towers. So here's my thing with Poland. I'm curious about it. Like, I don't want to call it the one that I mentioned them nominating for Room for Improvement, because we haven't seen it in motion really, other than a few seconds of the TikTok that was there. So the thing is, it's busy. There's a lot of things on stage, and I'm not a fan of too busy stagings. Like, I don't know if you need the 3 dancers, the 3 dress reveals, if you need all of that. But I'm hoping they make it work somehow. I don't know why, because in a way, it's just like the way last year Poland was so over the top that I ended up loving it, the stage show itself, because it was too much. It was over the top. They took the meme and they went for it. I don't know if maybe that can continue to some extent this year. I'm just curious about how to see it performed in camera, because I really love the song. It's not on my top 10, but almost. And I really hope, someone was saying in the comment section that it's eye-catching, which I think it is. I mean, from the photos we've seen, it's probably the one I remember the most. So, well, other than Bambie, I'd say that as well. But yeah, I just wish it works. Wish it helps.
Well, forgive me, I was slightly distracted. Bernardo and Luis, have you named your most?
No.
Sorry, okay. Please tell us.
So, I mean, based on many factors, I think the one that I feel that could need a bit of improvement is Cyprus. Because I'm not sure if we've seen it all, at least in the photos. Judging by the costumes of the dancers, that look like very something they would wear on the street, but also the song is quite urban, and they might have gone for that because they're very young as well. But yeah, I felt like we didn't see much, and the photos didn't give much. Silia was good. We know she can perform, so there's no problem about that. But yeah, I think it's the only one from today that we haven't seen if that's everything we're going to see on stage. And if it is, I'm curious if it will be eye-catching enough.
Ooh, this is very interesting, because I was basically, sometimes dancers, instead of having lots of props, they kind of consider their choreo their prop, and like with camera angles, it can kind of create a mood, a place, a vibe. I take your point though. I saw on Twitter someone saying it looked very empty, but I was thinking, oh, it's going to be filled with motion, because Silly is dancing nonstop from the beginning to the end. And so I'm really hopeful that with the camera cuts, it will give us what you want, because we know Luis has taste. But do you guys have thoughts on Cyprus, Bernardo and Lisi?
That's also my room for improvement for today. And again, based solely on pictures and taking on what you said, I do believe Celia is a very charismatic performer. She's very young, but she's really, really focused and driven for success. And she's been working on this performance for months now, even in the pre-party thrill, like you already mentioned. In Amsterdam, she was rehearsing in her hotel. And I really hope that SVT does this justice. I know SVT, they're a very good producing company, as well as a broadcaster. So maybe this will surprise me, but I do feel with the outfits and with the dancers, it all feels like I've seen this before. You know what I mean? It's nothing that surprised me and keeps me hooked for the 3 minutes. And even like the studio cut for the song, I do have the playlist on my car, and every time I go to work, this is not one of the songs that I listen for the full 3 minutes. I usually just skip it. So I really need some standout on the stage show to keep me engaged. Yeah. Well,
dang, y'all have strong opinions. So I think those were our three categories, weren't they? Winner, room for improvement, grower.
You share yours, William?
Oh,
room for
room.
improvement?
Oh no, I did not.
Yeah.
Are y'all getting an echo, by the way, or is it
No.
just me?
No,
Okay, you're not hearing
it's
the echo.
good.
Who could it be? Let's see. Room for improvement. Oh,
It's
Also,
a
room for
difficult one, isn't
improvement
it?
doesn't mean
it's really
bad.
tough because
Like,
I think.
Can we just point out? Can I just stop you there for a second, Willem? Because I don't know. I mean, like, I was thinking about it. It's room for improvement in this case, in today's case in particular. It's not that it's bad at all. Like,
Yeah.
No.
what we saw from Silia
Yeah.
was very good. And looking at the photos, like, you see there's some illumination on each dancer. So we probably on stage in the cameras will see
We're
that
missing
the dancers appear and
something. There's
disappear,
something
blah, blah.
missing there.
The thing is, the 7 acts that competed today are probably some of the most of the stronger ones of this year. There are 2 hot favorites for the victory here, Ukraine and Croatia. There's a huge ballad, Serbia. There's Lithuania, which is a big fan favorite. And there's Poland, which is also a big fan favorite. So maybe the fact that we mentioned Cyprus, it's just maybe because the others are like expected to finish so high on the scoreboard. But yeah, that was just pointed out.
Yeah, it's really tricky. I mean, I guess if I had to say improvement, needs room for improvement, it'd probably also be Poland. Because the fact is, there's too much going on. We already invoked Coco Chanel, take something off. There's a lot. And so until we see the camera cuts, it's hard to know what needs to be improved. But there's a lot of stuff we have not discussed. So why don't
For example, saying hello to Suzanne Adams, just joined the chat.
Hi.
Yes, we can officially confirm that Suzanne Adams, my older sister, will be in Malmö, Sweden. She is going to be there. She's in the chat right now. She says, quote, "Can't wait to see you all soon." Well,
She's going to need her own meet and greet area at the lounge, let alone the artists.
yeah. And Noah Ray is happy. Noah Ray says, Suzanne Queen, can't wait to see you in Malmö.
Somebody put my sister, but put cyst in it.
Oh, and here's this is funny. Where is this? This is a comment from Felix Leiter. Nepotism. You know what? Actually, I have many sisters on Wiwibloggs, and 3 of them are on this call, so nepotism all around makes the world go round. All right, we have not...
Seriously, all 3 of us will be in Malmö as well, so...
Exactly, yeah.
But look, we need to talk about Serbia. None of us have brought up Serbia so far. I'll kick this off by saying, if you look at the TikTok clip, everything looks gray. If you look at the photos, everything pops with color. So I almost feel like the social media team from the EBU sort of, they need to upgrade their phone or export with color because it's giving you 2 different views. I think that this really pops. You have the lilac dress, you have a rock that actually looks like a rock. Like it's organic, it's natural. The Ramonda is a flower that grows amid rocks, and that's her whole theme. And it's a sign of resilience, rising like a phoenix. And she, she's on the rocks from which the flowers bloom, but she's also there. So she could be, she could be part of the earth. She could be the flower blooming. There's so many ways to read it, but she looks hot. She looks gorgeous. She looks stunning, giving me Legend of Zelda, giving me Game of Thrones. It's just very artistic. And I think coming second, well, we often say that's a curse. She's coming after a bit of a dance bop, right? So Teya Dora will stand out. And there's only one other proper ballad, I guess, Portugal, way later. So, and even that's like an interpretive, very modern ballad. So there's no other flavor like Teya Dora. I still think she's going through. Lucy.
I'm going to be very honest. I promise this ends nicely. This was one of my least favourites of the year before today. I know that's controversial. Like, I fully acknowledge I'm in the very small minority there. Everybody loves this except me, I think. But today I was incredibly impressed. I thought it looked great. I think it's one of the best visually from today. Because I mean, quite a few today copied and pasted from the national finals. I'm sure we'll talk about them in a bit. But I really found it endearing. I know that this has similarities to the national final, but it's really elevated, and the lighting looks beautiful in the pictures. Thoroughly impressed today.
Totally. Serbia, It is one of my favorites. It's rounded in my top 5 actually, and it's what I was expecting. But it's just like taking Pes Más Eurovision and making it just like elevating it. The rock, it feels like the rock is kind of holding her in a way, like when she's sitting on the rock, and from the photos we've seen, it looks like the rock is kind of embracing her, if that makes any sense. And I think I prefer the outfit from the national final though, but I think this is going to look gorgeous. The photos are probably my favorite of today's rehearsals, up there with Ireland's. Those are just beautiful. There's one of them which looks like she's singing in front of a sunset or a dawn or something like that. The lighting is beautiful. And I think Serbia, I'm confident it will go through. I think there's the problem of coming second and being a ballad in the middle of all this madness that we have this year. It's there, but I think it will be enough to qualify.
Yeah, I'm a bit on Luis's camp in the sense that because it was a little bit copy and paste from what we saw on the national final, I wasn't surprised enough to put this as my winner or as a grower. Doesn't mean it's not good. I mean, this is one of my favorite songs of the year. Luis knows. He always says that this song is Bernardo coded. It's Bernardo coded because it's a ballad and it's emotional and it ties in with my Portuguese roots. But yeah, I think what I am missing from Teya Dora is a bit more of a connection, because I felt in the national final that even though the performance is very emotional and everything that is happening around her is very emotional, I don't think that the way she was carrying herself on stage was carrying the emotion of the song. I think if she engages more with the camera at Eurovision, I think it will reach people's hearts in a easier way. And I think it will be key for her coming second to stand out that way. I think pulling the heartstrings of the voters is the way to go, especially if you're coming early and you don't have that impact of being like one of the last 3 songs being performed.
Yeah, I think in Belgrade, maybe the loss of connection had to do with the fact it was so dark. Like I struggled to see her.
Yeah.
And it's still moody and brooding, but I think there is more light now. Certainly her dress takes on a whole different color when the white light hits her. It's more purpley. They've improved it. And I'm just going to wait for camera angles. I'm going to wait for camera angles. All right. We also have not discussed Lithuania Silvester belt. This is dark pop with a difference, y'all. It is so good whenever it comes on. And indeed, at all the pre-parties, the audience starts going like this. And it's just fantastic to see. I don't speak Lithuanian. Most people at these pre-parties haven't spoken Lithuanian, but they've all gotten into the song. And I think they kept everything that was great. The selfie image of him, the clothing, the oversized trousers, even the kickback dance move where he's kind of kicking to that da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They know what they're doing. And I've said this in our video, I've said this elsewhere. I'm really hoping for an aerial shot where we see him lying on the floor on top of his face. That's a selfie. Your face sitting on your own face. You know what I mean? This is elevation. In 2017, all the selfies looked the same. We had Isaiah Firebrace giving us kind of... so many.
Slavko was dancing on his face. It was something, yeah.
Yeah, so this is fantastic. So I feel really good about this. Lucy?
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to the national final, but it's just got that extra kick of energy. It's like the dance move, I can't do it, where he's like kicking like back and forth and kind of like it fits the big stage. It fills that stage with the energy, with the dancers. It's a huge kind of area to fill, and it's a bit of an odd shape, obviously, as a plus, to be able to bring that kind of vibe throughout the whole audience. And I think when that arena is packed, that's going to be a moment, much like Luke Black was last year, where in the arena, that was the one where everyone was like, whoa. Luke Black's on third as well, if I remember correctly. It was a huge moment, and I think today on the live blog they said something like every year you get a few songs with a bass, you can feel it through the floor, and Luktelk is one of them this year. I can believe it. I just thought it was really impressive, and I love the personalised boots that say Luktelk on them.
Very Ferreira from Lisbon.
Sorry?
That's what Ferreira did in Lisbon, branded her own footwear.
Yes.
So it's a good sign.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Incredible. No, I think it's really elevated. I'm really impressed today with them as well. I mean, like we were saying earlier, all the songs today are really good. So
It's very difficult.
This is
I mean, having this conversation is very difficult. Yeah.
Like probably all 7 of them could advance, to be honest. Like
yeah.
Also
we are going to come to that. We are going to come to that very topic about advancing, but we haven't actually discussed, there's a very big elephant in the room, but not an elephant, a cat. Baby Lasagna, Croatia, potential winner of Eurovision 2024. And I think the reason we've not discussed Croatia is because this clip isn't actually giving us very much that we don't already know. In this very brief clip, they've chosen moments that we've already seen. And, it's almost like they're hiding what else is there. So we have the viral dance moment. We have the cats, the horses, as Debonairami says, the agriculture. We have the white outfits, which have different sleeves now. So, we've seen all of this, and it's great, and it's good. But I think because we're seeing new things from other people, that's just simply why it hasn't come up. I still think this is a potential winner of both the semi and the contest. But let's get your take, starting with Bernardo.
I mean, after the repercussion Baby Lasagna had after the national final, why would you change anything? I mean, it went viral in Croatia. People are doing flash mobs in the country. It's like one of those songs that mobilizes an entire nation. And when you have that, you really just... It's just a matter of waiting for the song to explode abroad as well. And is already like an established star. Everyone is dancing to the song. And I mean, change the outfits, do some minor tweaks here and there. You're going to be a contender for the victory. There's really no discussion here about advancing to the final or not advancing to the final. This is sailing through the final in the top 2 spots, if not the winner of the semifinal. I'm curious to see how the LEDs translate here in Malmo, because I saw some of them are also copy and paste from the national final, and that gets me a little bit worried because that was the place where I thought there was room for improvement in here. And I don't know if they touched on that as well. But through the pre-party process, he's been gaining a lot of attention. He's more comfortable on stage. Vocally, he's better. So I think he's speaking at the right time. And watch out for Croatia.
Yeah, before we come to Luis, I'm going to read you 3 comments to prompt you. Mia Mesic says, Baby Lasagna was the best today. And then Zelimir Cabrera says, Baby Lasagna will conquer Malmo Arena. And then Decoding Science says, on the other hand, Baby Lasagna looks a bit underwhelming because I think it is the energy from him and the whole song that should be the focus. Luis.
So I mean, I agree with the first 2 comments and also with the third one, because the thing is, we're seeing these photos and this shot that is like it's taken from the inside the arena. We haven't seen the camera work here, but the thing is, I think the outfit have improved a lot, and so my thing with this is, I think we aren't talking about it now because we have already seen it, but the reaction of the people when they see it for the first time is going to be just the same that we had the first time we heard this song. Like when I first heard Ring Tin Tagi Tigi Dim Dim Dim, I was blown away by this song. Like it's what I like about this is that it's not about going like all out with the staging, not creating something extremely complicated on stage. It's honest, and I think people are going to relate to this a lot, because I feel like people are going to like the way that this guy is just singing a very good song with his band, with some dancers, and that's it. And I think it's enough in this case. So that's why we probably didn't talk about him here, because we're talking about, a stage show. But I think this is the one from tonight's show that I think is going to connect the best with the people.
Lucy.
Can I ask you a question, or Lucy, to all of you? Do you think that this performance, the song, and him, it reached a point where it's too big to fail now?
I think I don't see this failing. I think that what's likable about him is that it is a little messy. It's not Sacha Jean-Baptiste who produced this, is it? The stage show.
It shouldn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
Because it's pure. It's pure and it's honest and it's chaotic, and that's why it's cool, right? That's why it stands out, because it's not trying to be anything other than what it is. And I also like that Baby Lasagna is a sweet character in real life, and then on stage you see the beast, right? I keep saying this all season, but he's like this monster comes out, this like and it's fantastic to see. The traditional clothing. This kind of feels very Eurovision, to pair rock, neon animals, and then traditional clothing. It feels very Eurovision. So people at that party who don't pay attention to Eurovision, suddenly they're paying attention, and suddenly they vote. Yep. And you know what? The cat community is going to vote. The agriculture community is going to vote. And they deserve representation. Lucy.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, as we started talking about this, my cat started trying to knock things off a counter over there. I think she knows. But yeah, no, I mean, this was up there as one of my winners of the day. The reason why I didn't say it as my winner of the day is because I've seen similar things, but it didn't make me go bang the second I saw it today, whereas Ireland did. It was so polished, with that bit of roughness to it that makes us love it so much. But it's just, I think, again, the reaction earlier, we were talking about it, and I was saying, like, it's really satisfying, like the da-da-da-da-da-da along to the beat, and the like of the animals on the graphic. And I think it's just so enjoyable to watch. It is so fun. And somebody, I can't remember who it was, and I can't scroll back through far enough. Somebody was saying earlier that like 98% of people who watch Eurovision won't have seen any of this. I would actually argue it's an even higher percentage. So, everybody is going to have that first bam kind of watching it, and the fun of it and the excitement behind it, and seeing those farm animals, all the agriculture of it all, and being like, that is fantastic. The outfit today was really fun. Sinan was saying it looks like he's got not war medals, but been given honours and stuff from a monarch or something. Got this really fancy outfit, but then he's singing about leaving the countryside and going to become a city boy, and it's just such a funny contrast. I really enjoy it.
What has? Absolutely. He keeps laying, basically. He's unfazed. He's just doing his thing. He's staying in his lane, but it's wide enough for everyone else to sort of get in on the action. Now, any other thoughts on Baby Lasagna before we move on?
No, just please me our back.
Yeah.
So with that note, let's just do a final Baby Lasagna in the comment section. What are people saying? Decoding Science, Baby Lasagna was amazing at the pre-party. That will translate to Malma. Absolutely. Yes. Tina Petrasevich says, Baby Lasagna is 100% the winner of ESC 2024. Very interesting. Okay, now I know what I want to ask you. In our earlier video, Lucy and I discussed how the opening of this semi-final, you've got so many acts, Cyprus, Serbia, Lithuania, Ireland, Ukraine. They all look incredible on stage. Poland, Croatia. I think you guys might say Poland is the messiest, and then Croatia, incredible. Can all of them qualify? Can all 7 acts from today qualify? I want to go around and get your thoughts. And if your answer is no, who do you think will drop? Who of these acts do you think is most likely not to make it? Because realistically, not all of them can go through. Bernardo.
I do believe, because it's a semifinal with only 15 countries, and because the televoting is open since song number 1, I think there's a chance all of them might qualify. Personally, I don't think they will all qualify, and I think Poland is going to miss out.
Poland.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to?
That was quick. There was no debate. Y'all was just like Poland.
Oh.
Yeah. No. I think... Oh, I'm so 50-50 on this. I kind of think all of them are going to qualify. Because, in my humble opinion, I don't think the second half is particularly incredible. You know, you've got Finland in there, who probably will qualify, despite the fact it is not my cup of tea, we will say. So, you know, the second half is so much weaker, because I won't name names of countries, but I think it's not...
How dare you, Lucy?
We'll get to that tomorrow when tomorrow's rehearsal happens. But, you know, this half is miles ahead of the second half.
Yes.
And
Can I actually just read out the countries in the second half for people who aren't paying attention? 8th in the running order is Iceland. Then we have Slovenia, Finland, Moldova, Azerbaijan, Australia, Portugal, and Luxembourg. So tomorrow we will see these countries: Iceland, Slovenia, Finland, Moldova, Azerbaijan, Australia, Portugal, Luxembourg.
I mean, of that half, I only love 2 of them. So, I mean, personally, I need a lot of elevated staging tomorrow. I hope Bernardo's okay, because Portugal's coming up. Are you nervous, Bernardo?
For the first time, I am not nervous.
Oh.
Not nervous.
I think
they will nail it.
So I think they'll nail it,
Yeah.
but the odds
Yeah.
scare me. The odds really scare me because they have Portugal teetering on not making it. But perhaps Lucy's comment just now is actually good for Portugal, because basically we seem to agree this is front loaded for the first bit. So maybe the fact that Portugal's in the weaker half means they'll pop out more.
I think so. I do agree with that. I think Portugal is, from the second half, one of my locks. From the ones I think are definitely going in, and I feel like the odds are really underestimating the song and the performance, which is really good, and it's coming second to last, so people will remember it. And going back to the question of can all 7 countries qualify, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I also feel like there might be a really negative surprise with some of them. Like, I don't know if, for instance, maybe people will not get Lithuania or something like that. But I feel like most of them will qualify. I do worry a bit more for Cyprus and Poland if it's not good on the stage show. But I do think most of them, if not all of them, will qualify.
One thing I want to bring up is we haven't talked about the big 5 and automatic qualifiers. So after Ireland performs in 4th, you have the United Kingdom, then Ukraine, Poland, Croatia. Do we think Ollie Alexander's performance, stage show, will in any way impact how people perceive, I don't know, Ukraine and Poland, which come after, or Ireland before? I tend to think not. I don't think it's going to have a significant effect because sonically it's so different from those. But this question came up earlier in a discussion video, so I want to put it to you.
I mean, let's go on the delusional Brit, so let's get involved talking about Ollie. I don't know how reliable the source is, but I've heard Ollie's staging is good. I don't know if it is. I don't know anything about the staging. Just somebody mentioned it on Twitter. I don't know how reliable it is. So, you know, and I do expect it to be very good because Ollie's got a great team behind him. So I do expect that to be visually impressive. How do I say this nicely? Song-wise, Ukraine follows it, which is a song that has more of a chance of winning Eurovision. And so I don't think it's really going to... It certainly won't affect Ukraine's chances. As for Poland, if there is one country out of this group to not make it, I would argue it was Poland or Cyprus. So if Ollie's staging is a bit of a Barbie.
Sorry, he's putting his bum in the camera.
Oh, we're always here for the cats. My cat ran upstairs a second ago. But you know, what was I saying? So Poland. Sorry, my brain's gone. ADHD. But yeah, no. If it is super impressive, if we're having a Sam Ryder moment where like the best staging of the year arguably comes out of nowhere, maybe it could affect Poland. I don't see that necessarily happening. Not that I think UK staging is bad, but you know, these songs are all so different. As long as we don't have polystyrene trumpets or Disney signs, I think we'll be all right. You know, I think it's going to be okay. I don't think the other countries will be particularly affected by it.
No,
I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah, no, I do agree with Lucy. I think that it's not going to affect because actually it's Ukraine, the one that's coming after him. So I mean, Ukraine. It's going to stand out. People are going to love the song, the performance, etc. So I'm not worried at all about it. It might. I was just thinking, may just be like two of a strong row of entries, like starting with Ireland, I don't know, Lithuania even, then going to Lithuania, Ireland, United Kingdom, Ukraine, Poland, Croatia, all of them. Like high impact. I didn't mention Serbia because Serbia is more of a ballad, like a bit of a low impact here. But like it might be a bit of too much information for some viewers at some point. That might hurt Croatia. Just a thought.
That's
like
interesting.
I think it's more positive for Bambie than it is not positive for anyone else. I think Bambie just comes in between, or sandwich in between two kind of pop commercial songs, and then it's just like the Bambie show, right? And I think it will really stand out positively, in a positive way.
Now, we're entering the final 10 minutes of our live stream because, you know, we are all working, ladies and gentlemen, and have things to do. But I want to bring up one final thing. We ran a poll on Wiwibloggs, 2 polls. One was who will win the semifinal, and the second was who will qualify. And interestingly, in the who will qualify poll, our readers, there were around 20,000 votes. Our top 10 was very close to the bookies' top 10, except for 2. Wiwibloggs readers wanted Slovenia and Portugal to go through, and they wanted Finland and Poland to be out, whereas the bookies have Finland and Poland going through and Portugal and Slovenia out. So I just want to ask your opinion on this. You know, how do you think these cookies will fall? Because it seems to be that Portugal, Slovenia, Finland, Poland are on the cusp.
Can I go first?
Go.
I think Portugal is a sure qualifier. It's, again, not my cup of tea because I'm not a ballad girly. It has to be a bit more dramatic. Well, I suppose Grito is quite dramatic, but it's just not my cup of tea. But objectively speaking, I can look at that and be like, that's qualifier. I think that's way more of a sure qualifier than its closest rival, Ramonda. I really do. I think Portugal is in, Poland is out. Is my take on that.
Okay.
I'm thinking the one that is out. I think it's going to be Slovenia, unless they do an amazing stage show. I think Slovenia is going to be difficult to translate to people back home, to casual viewers. It might be a bit too elevated for some people watching, and people might not be leaning towards voting for Raven. I do really like the song, and I wish they do something amazing for staging. If they have thrown good money on this and they have created something to make it so special, it will probably pop out. But I'm fearing for them. I think Slovenia is the one out of these 4 that is the most in danger. Portugal, I think it's a sure qualifier, and so is Finland.
Okay, Bernardo. You've got skin in the game being Portuguese.
Yes. I kind of echo what Louise and Lucy said. I think going up to Eurovision, for a moment there, I did believe Portugal was more of a sure qualifying there than even, for example, Serbia. But then during the pre-party season, I think my opinion shifted a little bit, and I did understand the magic behind Ramonda. But then again, we have to take ourselves out of the bubble and try to think of everything as a casual viewer would look at Eurovision. And indeed, Portugal comes late in the running order, even though there's only 15 songs in contention, and Serbia comes second. And I think Portugal will be most likely an upgraded version of what we did in the national final. I think it was very sleek, very professional. I think she's an incredible vocalist. I think she has incredible stage presence. For some people, the interpretative dancing is not their cup of tea. I know, William, it's not your cup of tea, but when done effectively, it can be great, and it can elevate a song. And I think in this particular song, I think it's done brilliantly and very effectively. And I'm really hopeful to see what SVT has done with the production with Portugal. I think they're treating this very, very carefully, very methodically. I'm really excited, and I think it's a sure qualifier. I pray it's a sure qualifier. I'm always scared. Louise knows, like last year, I was like throwing my hands up in the air because last minute I thought Mimicat was not going through, and most likely I will go through the same process again this year. So nothing will change. But if you want to compare, for example, Portugal to Raven's chances, I think Portugal is more on the cusp of getting one of the tickets. Yeah.
So Mark Dowd says, Slovenia is very borderline. Raven is great, but the song takes too many listens for me. I think a lot of people have been echoing that. I will say that both Croatia and Serbia are voting in the semi-final. So that's a huge help. So if she has great staging, maybe more people will get it. Because sonically, it's hard to follow, but with visuals, the story of a witch, potentially drowning, etc., that could be really magical. Now let's actually close this video with a final question, because there are only 4 minutes left in this live stream. Our very own Simon Falk says, quote, Finland could non-qualify. And the reason I bring this up is because our readers in our poll took Finland out, whereas the bookies have Finland safely in. There's this ongoing debate about, will the rest of Europe get the joke? Within the fandom after UMK, there was a lot of, goodwill for the song for about a day. And then I feel like the hype for some reason fizzled. So I'm curious where all of you fall. Will Finland qualify, definitely borderline, or maybe not? Probably not. Let's see. Lucy.
I think they will, because but then again, you don't have as many casuals watching the semis. But if you've got a lot of casuals watching it, Finland are through, because they're going to be like, ha ha ha, dirty bag, no pants, ha ha ha. Oh, I just dropped something. And they're going to find it very funny. It's not exactly on the same level as Karia, is it? There is a good chance people are going to find it tacky or uncomfortable. I'm not a fan of this song at all. I love them. I genuinely, I just want to say now, backstage LEP, Henry Pispinen was the nicest artist I met. All of them were really nice, but Henry was so kind, because one of our team was having a bit of anxiety, and he without even he just went oh, do you want to try on my denim coat? You can do this and that. And he was just so incredible. What a person. Amazing. So I love them, but this song is not the one, and I have no idea. It could go down like a lead balloon. There's a very good chance it could come dead last, because things like that have happened before, where a song that is a fan favorite, but not that this is a fan favorite, but a lot of people really love it. Songs with this kind of level of love-hate have come dead last in semis before. It's very possible. I don't think that will happen, but to me, I think it's going through, but I could also see the opposite.
We're going to come to the Luis, but first this comment from Lil Catherine. I can see Finland non-qualifying, to be honest. Ireland and Croatia is already a lot for the viewers' senses to take in. Luis.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Something like, I mean, there are so many songs that are very visually attractive in the semi-final. Ireland, Croatia are two of them, but also if Poland works, it might also come across as a bit tacky in a way, and people might like camp. It's a word here. Sorry. And also in the next half, we also have the likes of Slovenia, who could also be very very striking visually. So there's a lot of information in the semi-final, is what I'm trying to say, I think, and I'm counting them in. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're not, to be honest. Like, I see a scenario where Finland doesn't make it because the song, I do get the intention, but I don't know if it goes all the way. It doesn't. I don't dislike it. I mean, I listen to it particularly on the gym, basically. But it's not a song that I wish to hear a lot. I don't know. Yeah, it's just. I'm counting them in, but I see a scenario where they're out.
Please, Bernardo.
No. Just echoing a little bit what Lucy and Luis already said. I think there's a path for qualification for Finland, although I think it's rather slim. I think it's a slim path for qualification, not only because we already have Croatia and also Bambie in the semi-final, but also because I don't think they, even though they're very engaging and very fun on stage, there's like, you can grasp when you see some performers performing their songs that they have like that X factor, and you get that with Teya, and you get that with Loreen, and you get that with other artists. And if you're bringing a song that is as divisive as Finland is, you either love it or you don't love it. But do you love it enough to vote for it? You really need to have the X factor to push it through, to make it go into the finish line, to go through the finish line. And I don't think this has the oomph, the power it needs to do that walk. But
and I actually made a mistake. Forgive me. I was looking at the wrong list. So our readers wanted to kick Finland and Australia out, not Poland. It was Finland and Australia our readers wanted to kick out, whereas the bookies have Finland and Australia in, and they kicked out Portugal and Slovenia. So on that note, we'll actually do one more round about Australia. I think a lot of fans were disappointed when they heard this song, simply because Electric Field's last attempt was so strong. We saw the final product of their last song, whereas I feel like we heard, I don't know if we've heard the final version yet, to be honest, of the Electric Field song. Certainly the release, it seemed like it was a late demo stage. So I think there's much to be anticipated. I think they have a very good concept. If you read the lyrics, it's all about the earth, respecting nature, balance in our lives. There's something very smart that's going to happen. We know that the lead singer is incredible. We know that the two of them have amazing chemistry, and that Australia, when they get staging right, like Kate Miller-Heidke, it's incredible. But at the same time, they might send someone walking on a lazy Susan, Isaiah Firebrace. So it can go in many directions. We really just have to see Australia. I'm really interested to see their rehearsal tomorrow, because it's going to be very, very telling and will help answer some of the questions we have. Lucy.
I'm going to be here tomorrow either saying Australia is my winner or my biggest disappointment. They're in my top 5. No, they're my 6th. I love that song. I don't understand why people don't love this. I think it's because 2000 and whatever, we got to see Zachariah Fielding like, what? And like going nuts at the national final. We saw that live. And everybody loved it live. Everyone was like, oh my God. And we're going to get that tomorrow. I am so sure this is qualifying and it deserves it. And whilst Australia have sent Aborigine artists before, what a beautiful thing to send through in Europe, coming to Europe with an Aborigine song, with didgeridoo in it, with language in it, and going through, like, I want this is one of the ones I'm rooting for the most this year. I am literally, I mean, you can hear it in my voice, I'm like, oh, I'm so excited for this tomorrow. I need this to go through. I'm going to be genuinely like nearly crying in the arena if it doesn't. But I think that I think the staging will be simple because the video was so simple. I don't know about budget SBS. I have no idea anything about it. But if the video is anything to go by, I'm going to assume there isn't loads to chuck behind it. I don't know. But Zachariah Fielding does not need that. And, oh gosh, what's his name? The guy on the keyboard, is it Mike Ross or something? What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Mike, yeah.
Yeah.
Also incredible. And, you know, when we see Zachariah Fielding with the energy, also they did like a small rehearsal clip on their TikTok a while ago, and it was fantastic. When we see this live, it's going to have the same reaction as 2000 whatever, mark my words, and watch me be wrong now.
Luis.
I'm dittoing everything Lucy said. I really, really wish they go through. It's Michael Ross is his name. I just Googled it. So, yeah, I mean, I have a lot of faith in Australia, to be honest. I feel like Electric Fields have proven to be amazing stage performers, and I do think tomorrow they're going to be one of the big surprises of the year. That's my gut feeling, and I really want them to go through because I really like the song as well. It's true that I don't listen to it as much as I would like to, but I really, really want them to. I'm really cheering for them, and I wish they do an amazing stage show, and that they go through, and that they get a very high place, and because they do deserve it. I love 2000 and whatever 2 bits. I like this. I'm not in love with One Mil Kali though, but I would love for them to elevate this in a way that I can grow to love it as much as their previous support.
I think we're all on the same page on this one then, because I think most people are sleeping on this.
Yes.
And everyone forgets Australia. Sometimes they're like magicians. They have their head and they whoop, and they take out like incredible staging out of left field, and then you're left like. And basically, I think what's wrong, and quote unquote, it's not wrong, but I think the way the fandom approached this, and I include myself in this one, was making a direct comparison with 2000 and whatever, and I think that's completely it's the last thing we should do. It's the last thing we should do, because then the rehearsal clip, like Lucy mentioned, is published online, and you're instantly remembered what an amazing performer she is.
Can I just say, it's not 2000 and whatever. It's 2024, hunty. So people need to put the past in the past and focus on today. Well, look, this has gone on longer than an hour. So we are going to say goodnight to all you beautiful people. But please note, several of us will land in Malmö on Monday, and we will have an in-person recap the evening of the 29th of April. That is Monday. And we'll also be filming some reaction videos in person to rehearsals for the first half of second semi-final on Monday. We may be slightly delayed because of travel, but the Emporia Lounge, many of you are asking, we're going to reveal more details and start announcing more of the acts. Just know this. If you think your artist could win Eurovision, they're probably at Emporia, because all the favorites are coming, plus so many beautiful personalities, which we can't wait to reveal. So stay tuned. So for now, that's what we think. What do you think? Who were your favorites from the first half of semi-final 1? Let us know here on Wiwibloggs.
Subscribe, because as William said, there is so much content coming from the lounge, and just everything that's going on in Malmö. And also Suzanne's going to be there on live stream. So.
And don't forget to follow all our social media, Pinterest included, Facebook, Twitter, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, follow us.
And click on the notification bell, because it's going to be a lot of content. Really, you won't be able to keep up unless you have the notification bell on.
And final comment from S. Sweden. Luis, I have a crush on you.
Yay! Well done, you.
Join the queue.
Right now.
Exactly.
And we'll see y'all later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.